Hello YouTube, how's it going guys? Good morning. It's time to conclude the trilogy with the Dark Souls 3 list. First playthrough tier list, boss tier list. Yeah, this might be a little bit of a shorter video compared to Dark Souls 2 at least, because it's only 23 boss fights. I really, I think I know the most about my Dark Souls 3 playthrough compared to the other two, because Dark Souls 3 just, like, left that type of impression for me. I feel like Dark Souls 3 was my favorite first playthrough. I also looked forward to it after Dark Souls 2, to be honest. Let's start right the fuck away. I'm gonna go through random. I'm not gonna like try to find like the bosses in a particular order or whatever. We're gonna go through a random, and I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on these bosses. First one down below, I think this is the normal Gandir, right? Champion Gandir probably somewhere else. Yeah, that's Champion Gandir, I believe. That's the normal Gandir fight. This is a really cool first boss. I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed it a lot, actually. You might not find a lot of C or D bosses on Dark Souls 3, because most bosses are actually really good. Gandir, I enjoyed it a lot. I would make it an... That's actually quite... I'll make it a B fight. I'll make it a B fight, because it's the first fight, it's a really quick fight. I enjoyed it though, but I can't make it an A. I think there are bosses that should be A, and Gandir is not one of them. The music's a little bit too loud, right? But a really great opening for the game. I really did enjoy this a lot. Since I saw him, that's the next one, Ward. This motherfucker was kind of terrible in my first playthrough. I'm not the biggest Ward fan, especially running down, and I did not know about the shortcut. And running that walk of shame over and over again to fight this motherfucker. I did not enjoy it that much. I don't even know why. I don't even know why it's that that kind of a tedious run up to Ward. There could be easy a bonfire within the cathedral. No, that can't be because of the dancer fight. True. After the dancer fight, you get your bonfire, but it's manageable. I just didn't enjoy Ward as much as I enjoyed Gandir, so this might be a C fight then. Maybe we rearrange it. Maybe we're gonna rearrange it later, but for now I'm gonna make it a C fight. But that doesn't necessarily mean Ward is a bad boss. Like, I just didn't enjoy it as much as Gandir on my first playthrough. As I said, this is not a hitless tier list, right? This is just like a casual playthrough tier list, basically. How I enjoyed the bosses in my casual playthroughs. Yeah, let's do the dancer next, since it's right next to Ward, basically. It's not an early game boss, though. This is like a late game boss, you could actually argue. It opens the way to Lothric Castle for you. Really, really, really cool boss. One of the greatest boss fights, in my opinion. I'm gonna make this definitely an A-tier boss fight. There are better bosses. Few, but there are better bosses. The dancer is a fantastic boss fight, though. Highly recommend learning this fight. It's super cool. You can outrun a lot of attacks. It's super, like, well done with the phase transition and the spins and the pillars you can hide behind, and there are so many options, you know, and I really like this about a boss. And yeah, this is definitely A tier, the dancer. The deacons. Let's pick the deacons just to get rid of those motherfuckers. The deacons are worse than Ward and probably the only D tier boss fight in my opinion. I really don't enjoy this fight. Like, even in my first playthrough, I didn't enjoy it. I was like, what the fuck's going on? I didn't understand. And, yeah, it just didn't feel great fighting these guys. And even after you beat them, after you understood, and you beat the deacons, you don't have that feeling, you know, you have after, like, struggling and understanding. That was just not there for the deacons, for me, at least. Maybe you like it more. Write it down below in the comments. I'm gonna become a YouTuber now. I'm gonna say that more often. Please subscribe to the channel, rub your nipples, and write it down in the comments below. Thank you. The tree beard. That's the next to Ward boss. That I didn't enjoy that either in my first playthrough. I think these are the 3 worst bosses on Dark Souls 3 in my opinion. Yeah. Maybe there's one more C tier, But these are the worst bosses for sure, yeah. Volnir, the Skelly boy. Volnir is... I find him cool. I don't know. It's a little bit of a different mechanic, right? With the bracelets. It took me like 2 or 3 attempts to understand. And after I understood, it's kind of cool. And he has like so many attacks you can do you normally don't see on a hitless run, for example. Like, you can pull his sword or like summon skeletons and all of that. It's pretty cool. I really enjoyed Volnir. Like, I would say right next to Gundyr. It's a good spot for Volley. What is next, babe? Let's try the Sage. The Sage is something... Oh, by the way, I'm gonna drink something real quick. It's already really hot out there in Germany. It's like 35 degrees today. The Sage is a cool boss. A lot of people just fight the Sage once or twice, because the Sage has just like not a big health pool, and you can like pretty much spank the Sage out of the arena really quickly. But the Sage is a very, 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 maybe the most complex boss on Dark Souls 3. But I obviously didn't realize that on my first playthrough. I kind of liked the Sage because it was the first magic boss, right? Who shoots like magic at you and shit. I kind of liked it. I'll make it next to Volnir a B. What else do we have? Let's go for Yorm. Yeah, let's go for Yorm. Yorm, giant, the gimmick with the sword, of course, the Storm Ruler, right? It's great and all, but the coolest thing about Yorm is that you can fight him also normal without the Storm Ruler, which is in a hitless run possible. For Rykard on Elden Ring is probably... It's not possible, because there's always this like pool of lava around him. Or fire or whatever. I think Yorm is one of the greatest actually gimmick boss fights with like an extra weapon or what. I would make Yorm definitely an A-tier boss fight. Yeah, that's a cool boss. With the 2 phases, and also on your first... Some of you guys on your first playthrough, you have maybe had like the lore part included with Onion, right? That's just also pretty cool quest line on top. Next one, Aldrich. Cool boss, kinda, and I mean he grew a lot on me. My first playthrough wasn't that pleasant, to be honest. These arrow attacks, and I didn't understand that you have to go close and all. Yeah, I'll make him a B. Now he would definitely be an A, but on my first playthrough, he's a B for sure. Yeah, it's a cool boss, and B is also still good. Okay, don't get me wrong, this is still good. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. A B tier boss fight because he was annoying. But I had that sense of accomplishment afterwards, for sure. Next is Sullivan. Pontiff Sullivan is fantastic. Like, he's a cunt, lore-wise, a cunt. But he's a fucking fantastic boss. I think he was actually planned as the last boss of Dark Souls 3. And then they redid it. Fantastic. Also my first playthrough. Absolutely fantastic. It's really cool where you fight him, how you fight him. You can parry him. You have so many options. It's really cool. I highly recommend not fighting him with bow only. The Abyss Watchers, S. Not much more to say about the Abyss Watchers. Fantastic boss fight. The first time you enter the arena, you fight one, then there's a second guy, then there's a third guy. Then you have a phase 2, the lore, the music, S tier boss. We don't have to say anything more than that. There are a couple of S tier boss fights actually. Now that I think about it, there are many S tier boss fights on this game. Dragon Slayer armor, in my opinion, also. Mwah. Absolutely fantastic. I like it way more than Market, and I compare it to Market because it's a bridge. But Dragon Slayer armor is so cool. It's one of my favorite fights. It was one of my favorite fights on my first playthrough as well. The thing is, you go in there and you see like something like Ornstein again, and then you start to wander, and then you get like immediately clapped by a shield-like bash or whatever, and you have to redo it over and over again because this guy is actually hard. And on after phase transition with like the butterflies from left and right, this guy is actually tough, and it took me quite some time to beat him, and that was fun. That was a really fun boss fight. Next one, the Twin Prince-Renos. That's A tier for me. Also a fantastic boss fight. I just didn't enjoy it as much on my first playthrough. I felt like, I don't know, I felt it's unfair, you know, when you sometimes like get clapped by a boss and then you're like, man, this is unfair. But eventually you realize that it's not. But that was my feeling on my first playthrough, I believe. For these two, I felt like they were incredibly unfair and just not good designed, which they are, but like they are well designed. That's what I wanted to say. But the feeling was just different. Next one is yeah, let's do a Nameless King. Nameless King. Yeah, we're gonna make an S tier as well. Fantastic boss fight. As I said in the previous videos, I don't know why FromSoft does that, but they have like a reputation to hide one of the greatest bosses of their games, or yeah, the hardest / greatest bosses of their games. Behind so many like hidden walls, basically, that you have to really search for it. It is cool. But if I would be the only one playing this offline, I would have not found bosses like Malenia. Malenia probably, but like Placido Sex or Nameless King or the Dark Lurker, stuff like that, right? You really have to dig deep to find these sometimes. And yeah, Nameless King, perfect boss fight, really good. Moving on. This is like the Wyvern, right? Yeah, let's make it a B. It was kind of fun on my first playthrough to make it like all the way to the top, and then I yeet it down, and I think I missed maybe once or twice even with the plunging attack, even though it's the most reliable move in the game. We do have the sound somewhere here. Yeah, right? Plunging attack!
Plunging attack is the most reliable move in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not, but it's kind of a cool way to climb up and then do one plunging attack and kill the Wyvern. It's a cool mechanic though. So let's make it a B. Champion Gundyr is definitely better than Gundyr. He's quick, he's agile, he is right up your face. You can parry him, you can fight him normally, perfectly consistently. I like him a lot. The way you find him is also the same what I said earlier. It's hard to find him, right? It's not that easy. Yeah, fantastic boss fight. A tier for sure. Not quite S, but A tier. Osiris, my first playthrough. I have to make this a C on my first playthrough. Now I like Osiris. He's like a B or even an A tier boss. But for my first playthrough, dude. This guy made me rage. Not only the arena and the attacks, especially that instant charge he just runs you over with. The talking. Guys, the fucking talking. And every time you die, you have to listen to him. And you cannot, like, just, like, end the game, because he always talks. He keeps fucking talking all the time. That's so annoying. I hate that. That's probably the worst thing about Osiris, that he talks so much. Okay, let's go for the NPC boss fights. That is Gravetender, right? And his wolf. Gravetender and the wolf. Well, that's actually an NPC boss fight I do enjoy. It's a little bit annoying that there are these 3 little wolves at the beginning plus Gravetender. But I did enjoy it quite, yeah. It's a cool boss fight, and I even enjoyed it in my first playthrough. And I still do enjoy it. Just the way down, like these roots and all, that kind of sucks, but that's not the boss. Freed as fantastic feat, you know. Amazing 3 phases with the daddy in between. It's really cool, and it's super consistent if you know how to fight Freed. I do enjoy it very much. When I do not talk a lot about these bosses, that's a good indication that I really like them. Same goes for the Demon Twins, for example. Also S-tier boss fight. The Demon Twins are fucking fantastic. They're super well designed in terms of difficulty and fairness. And you can also fight them very aggressively, or do it like I do it. I run away a lot and just wait for the openings. It's one of my favorite boss fights of all time, I would say. Demon Twins. Magnificent. Please fight the Demon Twins. Half-Light. First playthrough, Half-Light was tough. I'm gonna make it a C. I was raging a lot. I remember that. I was just super angry, and this was not fun. So that's at least what I remember. This was not fucking fun. And after it was over, I said to myself, I'm never gonna fight this motherfucker again. And here we are, almost 4 years later, still fighting Half-Light. Okay, Gale, we don't have to talk about it. S-tier boss fight. Absolutely outstanding. Gale is insane. Really, really cool. Many ways to fight him. It's really, 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 really dope to fight against Gale. The music, the atmosphere, first playthrough, the lore, everything. Just insane fight. Same goes for Midir in my first playthrough. I have to make it an S as well. Midir is just absolutely fantastic as well in terms of like the spectacular impression, and when you go down there, like first you beat him on that bridge, right, and then you can find him down below and he's still alive, sleeping there, and then you fight that gigantic dragon in that gigantic arena. I really like it. Fantastic. Next one would be the old DK. ODK. ODK. Good question. ODK probably B. Not a bad boss fight. I enjoyed it on my first playthrough. We beat him relatively quick. Even though we fought him relatively late. But I enjoyed him. And I think he's a good boss, yeah. And last but not least, my favorite boss of, maybe my favorite boss of all time, at least with the Souls combat system. Cinder, guys. He is definitely at the very top of this list. There should be an extra category, like the Cinder tier or something. That is one of the greatest bosses I've ever fought in my life. It's super difficult. You have to learn it a lot. But if you learn, and if you get good at it, it is extremely consistent. And it's a lot of fun. And what is this music? And it's, yeah, just a dance. A dance of joy. Yeah, on my first playthrough, I actually had real struggle with Cinder. I mean, he's a hard motherfucker. I couldn't beat him for quite a while. That was tough. One of the few bosses I was not able to beat, I believe, for a long time. And that is it, guys. 23, I believe. Boss fights, Dark Souls 3. The video is 20 minutes still. Fuck. But I tried my best to be as quick as possible. If you want more of those lists, please tell me down in the comments below. I would love to do one on Sekiro. I really, like, Sekiro grew a lot on me in the last couple of years, and I would love to do a Sekiro tier list for bosses. But if you say, Nico, it's enough with the tier list, please do more sexy content where you show more tits or whatever. I can do that as well. But I am actually enjoying these because it gives me the opportunity to just, yeah, share my thoughts on what I like the most about these games. And thank you for watching this video, guys. Please leave a like and a comment down below for the algorithm. And if you made it this far into the video, you can also have sex with Dex if you type XX down below into the comment section. Thank you very much. See you later on stream or in the next YouTube video, guys. Bye-bye.